Someone is sitting with a laptop open. One tab has a course. Another has a career article. Another has a video promising that everything is about to change. And behind all of it is a quiet question. What should I learn now? Not someday. Not in theory. Now. Because life does not pause while the map updates. The application still has a deadline. Monday still comes. The next step still asks for an answer. A student has to choose. A parent has to advise. A worker has to stay useful. And an adult with a full life has to adapt without stopping everything first. That is one of the quiet anxieties of the AI age. Not only whether machines can do more, but whether humans can still know how to prepare. For a long time, the map was easier to explain. Study. Specialize. Get a credential. Enter a career. Climb. That map was never perfect. It did not work equally for everyone. It depended on money, place, timing, family, luck, and access. But it was legible. People could point to a path. Schools could organize around it. Employers could recognize it. You learned something, and the hope was that this knowledge would carry you for years. Maybe decades. But the map was built for a slower world. And work is entering a faster one. Artificial intelligence does not change every job in the same way. It does not mean every worker disappears. That story is too simple. The deeper change is quieter. Parts of jobs begin to move. A task that used to take hours becomes something a tool can draft in seconds. A process that required a specialist becomes easier for someone else to attempt. A beginner can produce work that looks advanced. And an expert spends more time checking, judging, correcting, and deciding what is actually good. The job may still exist. But the center of the job shifts. This is why the anxiety feels different. In the past, a person could worry about choosing the wrong road. Now they can choose a reasonable road, learn seriously, and still watch the road move. Employers are already saying that many workers' skills will need to change before the end of this decade. But the statistic is colder than the experience. The experience is opening your computer and realizing that something you were proud to learn last year now has a button for it. That does not mean the learning was wasted. But it does mean the value may have moved. Maybe the value is not only in doing the task by hand. Maybe it is in knowing what the task is for. When the output is wrong. What question should have been asked first? What a real person actually needs. This is where the tool trap begins. People try to chase everything. Every app. Every tutorial. Every promise that this one thing will make them safe. But tools are moving targets. Learning a tool can be useful. Sometimes necessary. But learning only the interface is fragile. The interface changes. The button moves. The workflow updates. The feature becomes automatic. And then the question returns. What should I learn now? The more durable learning sits one level deeper. Not outside technology. Not against it. Beneath the tool, where the real work begins. Can you see the problem clearly? Can you tell when an answer sounds fluent but is false? Can you explain what matters to another human being? Can you decide when the tool gives options, but not responsibility? This is why AI makes judgment more important, not less. Because speed creates more output. And more output creates more need for discernment. Someone still has to know the field well enough to notice what is missing. Someone still has to see the difference between impressive and useful. Between fast and responsible. Between a finished answer and a true one. That is not old-fashioned. It may be the part of the work that becomes more valuable as the rest gets faster. AI can generate. It can summarize. It can draft. It can accelerate. But it does not carry the human consequence of being wrong. That is why the answer cannot be simply, learn AI. Learn what, exactly? For what field? For what kind of problem? The danger is not only that people learn too little technology. It is that they learn technology without understanding the work it is supposed to serve. This also makes the problem bigger than individual motivation. It is easy to tell people to reskill. Harder to build a world where they actually can. Adults have limited time, real costs, and responsibilities that do not disappear. Students have to choose before the future is clear. Teachers are preparing people for tools that may change before graduation. Employers want adaptable workers, but do not always give them time to adapt. Degrees still matter. Credentials still matter. Schools still matter. But they are no longer the whole map. Learning now happens in more places. Inside work. Between jobs. At night. Under pressure. Through practice. Through mistakes. Through people trying to update themselves while life continues. This is not clean or romantic. It is often uneven, interrupted, and unfair. But it is becoming part of how many people stay connected to work that keeps changing. That is the human part of this story. The future of learning is not only a classroom. It is also the person testing a tool before a deadline. The teacher rewriting a course. The parent giving advice without pretending to know the future. So what should you learn now? The honest answer is not a list. Not 5 jobs. Not 7 tools. Not one perfect degree that removes uncertainty. A better answer may be this. Learn the field. Learn the tools of the field. And learn how to keep learning when the tools change. Because the tool is not the whole story. The field has history. It has standards. It has people. It has consequences. AI may change how work is done. But it does not remove the need to understand why the work matters. The old map said preparation happened first, and life came after. The new map is less comfortable. It looks more like a loop. You learn. You work. The tools change. You return to the question. Not as a slogan. Not as motivational advice. As a way to stay oriented in a world where tools keep moving. This is not a small change. The future may belong less to people who memorize one answer, and more to people who can keep finding their footing when the answer changes.